Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the MC Magic Radio Show. For your safety, please do not drop unused items through the glass or in the question box. Now, here's your hosts, UglyPuckling 17 and Rob Plays That Game.
Oh my gosh, it's happening.
It's happening.
He's lowering it. There's so many people. Look at him jumping. Oh, it's amazing. Look at him. It's like a wave of people.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. It's happening.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Saturday night, Labor Day weekend. I imagine everybody's doing great.
Welcome to the MC Magic Radio Show. We haven't done this in a while, so this is pretty crazy that this is happening.
And I haven't done this ever.
So yeah, let's do this.
So here's what we're gonna do tonight, guys. We're gonna do a bunch of different stuff. We opened up a collection of questions, right? So you could do sort of a live Q&A. We're gonna do some fun stuff, kind of similar to the revisiting Disney stuff that I do. And then we'll just sort of take it from there, see where it goes, right?
Yeah, pretty much. We're just gonna have a fun time. You know, we're gonna listen to what you guys have to say sometimes. You know, we're gonna listen to some of our fellow cast members, maybe.
Yep.
You'll get to see some special guests from our cast members. And then we're just gonna have a really good time. You know, celebrate the holiday coming up. You know?
Ugly, are you vanished? I think you're vanished. It looks like I'm alone up here.
Oh,
there you go. Now I'm actually not talking to myself in the video. There you go.
that was totally planned. That was a prank on Rob.
Okay, so why don't we just jump right in? Well, first off, I want to say happy anniversary to MC Magic. I've made a video saying that before, but considering that this show sort of came into existence, UglyPuckling came to me like a couple of weeks ago with this idea, and he wanted to do it in honor of the anniversary. So I just wanted to kick it off by saying happy anniversary, MC Magic.
Yeah, same for me. You know, it's been a great 3 years for the server. You see how it's progressed over the years. It's unbelievable.
Oh, it's incredible.
What has come to be, and I mean, it's a true dream of so many people to be in Disney, and for so many people that are here on this server, like when they can see it every day, it's just unbelievable.
Yep, it's fantastic. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
A lot of books. All right, let's start doing some questions, right? So do we just pop in here and we'll grab some from the question chest?
Let's see.
I'm gonna grab 2 of them, or 3, and if you want to grab a few, we'll go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
We didn't pre-screen these.
All right.
Okay, so let's see. What is your favorite Disney movie? And that comes from Cavemaster1128. So we have more of a Disney film related question. I'm gonna let you take it away.
All right. Favorite Disney movie? I have a couple. I love Tangled. That's the music in that. I love it. I really like The Lion King. That's probably my favorite. Lilo and Stitch.
Going all new there.
Yeah, I'm out of the classics. Probably out of the classics, I've got to say. I got to say probably Little Maybe.
Which one?
Little Mermaid.
Oh, Little Mermaid. Wow,
Yeah.
I feel old that you're calling that one's a classic. That's the Renaissance.
Well, yeah, alright. Alright, let's go real classic. Snow White.
That is a real classic. I was going to go with Mary Poppins or The Parent Trap, the original Parent Trap, not the Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap.
I don't know why. I wasn't really a fan of that. It was too, I don't know, it felt too unrealistic.
That's what I love about it. There's sort of like this, there was this period in film in like the 60s and 70s where it was just starting to get out of the studio system. So it had a little more of a realistic feel to it, but at the same time, it was still very clearly shot on studio sets. And especially once you get into Disney where like he wasn't really trying to make realistic films. I feel like all those movies, those live action movies like Mary Poppins and especially The Parent Trap, things like that, they always felt like old Hollywood, which is, I don't know, maybe I'm in the mood for them lately, but I find those to be like my favorite. I'm a big fan.
You know what I actually left out? I left out, and it's funny because a lot of people, when they think Disney movies, they don't think of this, but it's one of my favorite movies. I've got to say, Remember the Titans.
Okay. Did Disney put that out directly? I have to say, I don't remember.
I believe it was them directly. It was their full movie.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I love that movie. There's a great message in it, and it's a good movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Did you get any other question? By the way, if you have a question, if you're in the Twitch chat, you could throw out a question there. We might be able to grab it from there. You can try and ask in the MC Magic chat, but that's moving really quickly, so there's a good chance we might not catch them. But do you have any over there? The other books I had were just like, one of them was I Love Disneyland, which I can't disagree with.
All my books were like that.
Okay.
I got one that's What's Your Favorite Food, if you want to answer that one.
Oh, okay. Well, let's make it Disney related. What's your favorite food in Disney World? Like, what's your favorite food thing to get when you're down there?
Ooh. All right. I'm gonna branch this off into two questions. What's your favorite food thing there, and what's your favorite like restaurant too?
Okay.
So favorite food in Disney, I'm gonna go with ooh, that's a tough one.
It is
I don't
tough.
know, just the Mickey waffles just seem so.
They're classic.
So much better there. They just, I mean, you can make them at your house and they're just not the same.
You know what it is? I think it's like the collective, not so much like there's no one food item. And I always say these in my Q&As, like I always feel spoiled because I'm in New York City, and so like there are a lot of opportunities to get great food where I am. So I don't go to Disney for great food, but they have really good food. But there's like not one, like I can't say like, oh, this place has the best burger because there are better places. But
I disagree there.
Oh, what?
Big River on the boardwalk.
Do they have a good burger?
It's the best burger.
Well, now I'm gonna have to go try it. I don't think I've been there.
It's unbelievable. They have the best burgers.
Oh man, that's awesome. Then I should definitely go check it out.
Yeah, it's the one food in Disney where it's like, oh, this one actually has higher standards than everything else.
Because I'm a big burger fan, so like I hold the standards of burgers very high.
So do I.
I would say though that like my favorite food memory at Disney was in 2012. I went with a bunch of my friends, and it was the first time I was going to the parks, like not with my family, but with a group of my friends. So there's something weird and like liberating about that, because when you go with family, like you don't have total say in what you're doing, and you don't have total say when you're friends, but at the same time you can split up. So there's something like really awesome about that. And the first morning we were there, we were staying at the Fort Wilderness cabins and campgrounds, and we were in a cabin. And of course now the name of the place is escaping me, but it was their breakfast buffet over on the campgrounds, and me and my buddy ate so much food that we pretty much didn't eat again until we were heading back at night to the hotel, because we just had like, it had to be 2.5 plates, and like not one specific thing was so amazing that I can remember it, but the whole experience was unbelievable, and just makes me want to go back right now and eat.
I think food-wise, the best I've been to in Disney, Ohana. Breakfast and dinner, both. I love them both.
Nice.
And Yachtsman Steakhouse. The steak there is the best New York strip I have ever had. There's never been a steak to beat it, honestly.
That's awesome.
As far as the atmosphere, though, for a restaurant, I'd have to go with. I like sci-fi.
Oh yeah.
The whole drive-in feel. I really like. It's the name just escaping me right now. Wow, this is bad.
Wait, what place are you talking about?
I don't know. The name just escaped me. It was bad.
Where is it?
Wilderness Lodge, Whispering Canyon.
Okay.
That's what it is. Whispering Canyon Cafe. It's very fun. It's a very family-based restaurant. There's a lot of, there's a lot of just funny moments that happen there. Like the waiters and waitresses just yell at you and stuff, and If you need ketchup, there's only one table that has the ketchup, and you have to yell it across the restaurant, and the table has to bring it to you.
That is awesome.
And then if you don't finish your meal, or you misbehave, or you say that you're full, they bring over this like wooden, it looks like a gate, and it says jail on top of it, and you have to take a picture behind it.
Oh my gosh. This is, see, that's what Disney's great at, is they'll take something that's so normal and ordinary in everyday life, which is like eating a meal, and they'll make it a great experience. So it's unforgettable.
What about you for atmosphere?
So I'm going to try and pick out, for atmosphere, 100% has to go to, this is my weirdest pick, and people are not going to agree with it probably, but I love Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe, which is not a sit-down restaurant. It's a fast food place, and but I am a big fan of the 1950s and retro futurism, which is why I love Tomorrowland. And I'm a big fan of sort of like that lounge culture of that time, and that sort of mashes it together. And maybe it's because I associate so many great memories of Tomorrowland with just taking a break there and, eating a quick meal and watching all of the like silly jokes that Sonny Eclipse throws out there while he's singing. Makes me like think back of it really, really fondly.
Yeah, it's funny because I haven't eaten there, but whenever like my family goes to like take like a 5-minute break or something because we've been walking for a while, we always stop there because it's just, I don't know what it is about it. It's just it's cool in there. Like it's nice, and it's funny because it's futuristic, but at the same time it looks retro. So it's got that weird combination, but it works. It's funny. It's
what Tomorrowland's all about.
Oh yeah.
So while I look through the chat to pick out another question, why don't you talk about really quickly what's going on after the radio show tonight here on the server? I believe there's
Yeah. After the radio show tonight is it's a summer block party, which is celebrating going back to school, which I know some of you are thinking that's not really a celebration, but it's a very, very fun time for some people. But pretty much what we're doing is I think we're gonna have like a DJ. I'm not sure who's DJing tonight. Possibly Actual Facts. I believe Actual Facts is. But as well as that, we're just gonna have a good time on the server. Maybe play some games or something.
Fantastic.
It's gonna be over towards Warp Indy, and it's gonna be a blast.
I've been told from the people in the chat people, that if you could turn up your mic a little bit, they'd be able to hear you better. And I also have a question from them that we're gonna throw out there. This is MC Magic related. So Haydonian asks, how long have you been on MC Magic? And I assume they don't mean like today.
I'm going to let you take that because I'm actually going to switch my mics real quick.
Okay. So, wow. Now I have to think of like dates and stuff. So my last trip to Disney was in 2012. And I recall about like 8 months before that. This is a weird way I measure time, right? Like, so I went to Disney in about May of 2012. And around 8 months before that, I was like having like I needed a Disney fix. It had been years since I had gone, and I had listened to WDW Radio by Lou Mangello, which is a great way to just sort of get in the spirit and enjoy the parks remotely every week. But I had been playing Minecraft, and I had just started my YouTube channel, or I actually hadn't started yet. But I was playing Minecraft, loving the game, and it just occurred to me, like, what? Somebody must have made like Disney World in Minecraft, right? That had to have been a thing. So I did a little bit of Googling, and I found like a Disney podcast that had mentioned in a segment this server that is creating Disney in Minecraft, and it was MC Magic, and I headed over, and I was blown away by it. I spent a day or two just exploring it, making me really miss Disney World, and then I sort of kind of forgot about it a little bit, and that's because I stopped playing Minecraft. And then when I had started my channel, I was looking for servers to sort of explore and show off, and then of course Minecraft came to mind, and I realized how much fun I had just talking about Disney while in a video game, and I want an excuse to do that every single week. So I started I did all the parks, and then I started the series, and now I do all this Disney content because I just love talking about Disney and love coming on to MC Magic. So that's sort of like how it all started for me. Oh, you sound even quieter than you did before. Yeah, you sound very far away. So while you get that sorted, I'm going to jump to another question, but we're going to come back to that question for you. There are a lot of simple ones here, like, what is your favorite theme park? My favorite theme park is Epcot for sure. Let's see. What's my favorite ride in each individual park? That's very, very specific. My favorite ride, Spaceship Earth. I'll throw that out there. I'm a big proponent of Spaceship Earth. A lot of people don't pick this one, and I think the reason they don't is because it's not very exciting. It doesn't have a lot of special effects, but I think as I got older, I started to appreciate the message that came with it, which is, one, here's a history lesson about all of the work that we did as a species to develop communication and how far it's come and how it's helped us grow as a civilization. But then the best part is when you get to the top, it takes all of this and it puts the weight of it on your shoulders and says, okay, so now is all of this advancement going to bring in another renaissance, or is it just going to be electronic babble? And I think anything that puts that sort of puts that sort of responsibility on our shoulders is great, because you walk out thinking, and that's exactly what Walt wanted when it came to rides. He didn't want them to just be, shallow entertainment. He wanted there to be a little more depth to it. And Epcot specifically was a park that was meant to be, an educational park.
Yeah, is this better?
It's about the same as it was. I'm gonna tune down the music a little bit, so hopefully that'll help.
All right. Yeah, I mean, the thing that I love about what Walt decided to do is that he didn't take a regular, theme park type amusement park and make roller coasters like everybody loves. In my personal opinion, he took a huge chance with Walt Disney World, because, some people would think, oh, well, I don't know, is this really what's going to be like good? Is it going to be popular? And as you can see by what's happened today, like, it's an unbelievable growth that's happened since the beginning to what Walt made it. Because I don't know if how many people know the story of the opening of Disneyland, but when Disneyland opened, there was actually an issue, and there was not an attendance, I guess you could say attendance craze that showed up that they thought it was going to be. It was a lot lower than they thought.
Oh, you're thinking of World? Yeah, Disney World was super.
Yeah, World.
Yeah, World was empty on day one.
Yeah, it was not good, and there were some issues happening, so they blamed some of it on that, saying we weren't really prepared, and you got to give them credit for that. And you see how it is today, and that it's like the number one ranked amusement park attendance wise. It's amazing what they took the chance and risks at doing, and they came through with it.
Absolutely. It's funny because when Disneyland opened, they couldn't handle all of the attendance. There was a lot of counterfeiting going on. People went in, it was a big mess. And so when Disney World was going on, they actually wanted the opposite effect to an extent, where they picked October, which just was not a big tourism month, and they really did everything they can to sort of make it a tepid launch. But then, of course, the media picked it up, and they thought that it was a failed launch because of it. It was definitely risky. Now, going back to the original question, though, when was your first, how long have you been on MC Magic?
Okay, I think my first day on MC Magic was February of 2013. I actually don't know the original date, which I'm very unhappy about. I wish I knew the actual date I was on, but I didn't keep track of that. But February of 2013 was my first month, and I've been on ever since. I've never taken a break. I just, this is honestly to me, like one of my, my places to come and just get away from like everything that's happening outside of the server, and I just come here, I relax, like I just feel like I'm at home, because I am like a true Disney like fanatic, like I'm in love with Disney, like.
Oh yeah, I think you're among
yeah,
others here.
Yeah, I mean, like my dream is to work in Disney. Like that's what I want to do for my career. And so coming here and finding this, it was just like a whole like realization point that this is really what I want to do. And so I've never taken a break. So because of that, and I think I became a cast member in July of 2013.
Okay, nice. I've got a bunch of new questions here. We're all packed up on questions. This one is this one you guys get all the time, so I'm going to answer this. I'm going to ask this in jest, but if you do have an answer, I mean, feel free to throw it out there. When will the Tower of Terror reopen? It's been closed for about a month, and that was asked by Diamond Cat 4089.
Well, thank you, Diamond Cat, for your question. I actually haven't heard this in a while. I honestly, I have no idea. There's really no way to tell.
I mean, the big explanation for that is such a redstone complicated ride that there's so many opportunities for it to break, which is like, and I say this in my videos, it's a testament to just how talented the CMs are, that you could build something so complex that, you know, anything that reaches a certain amount of complexity is not going to work perfectly, especially in a game like Minecraft, which isn't super optimized. So, I mean, I'm sure the best minds here at MC Magic are working on it whenever they can, and hopefully as soon as they know, they'll let us know. Let me throw another question out there. Let's see which one's a good one. Here we go. So, if you went to Disney World, what ride would you ride first? And that's by Siva K Kids.
Okay. All right, so the running joke with me, I don't know how many people know this, but my favorite ride in Disney, and it's the weirdest ride for people to like this much, my favorite ride in Disney is Carousel of Progress.
Oh, that's a good one.
And it's, you know, everybody's like, oh, it's so boring, like, oh, it's a nice air conditioning place to take a nap. To me, it's just, I don't know why, but I really feel the connection with Walt, like with what Walt Disney was trying to do in Carousel of Progress. And it's not focused around Walt, but I get that connection of seeing even just the advancements that Disney's made over the years. Like, okay, let's look at Snow White, Scary Adventures. How about like Winnie the Pooh? The animatronics in that, I mean, they're good animatronics, but they're not the best. They're not top notch.
Right.
When Snow White was still open. Looking at what they've done with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, if you haven't gotten the chance to ride that, it's unbelievable what they've done with it. The animatronics that they've done with that, I would never in a million years have expected something that crazily, practically exact to happen, and they did it, and it's just, you know, where are they going next? What are they going to do next that is going to blow our minds away? Because every time they do something, there's always that next step right to come after it.
Yeah.
You don't expect it, and it's crazy.
I feel like if I knew that answer of what was next, I would be in California right now as an employed Imagineer. I think my first ride would have to be, Carousel of Progress is a great pick. And I don't want to be super cheesy and say that the monorail counts as the first ride, but I'm a big fan of, like I said, Spaceship Earth's my favorite. I actually save Magic Kingdom for like later on in a trip, just because I feel like it adds to the effect of finally getting there, and I love Epcot so much.
Oh yeah.
Also, just to add something real quick, Mixmaster Jacob had an update for that last question and said Tower of Terror will be reopened when 1.8 is, I guess, applied to the server. So, just throwing that out there. We do have a date. Kind of.
Um, for those who have not heard, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I believe, ISG. I heard that 1.8 is supposed to be out by Tuesday.
Interesting.
On September 2nd. You never know with Minecraft. Things
Yeah.
change. Yeah. But that's what they are shooting for right now.
Great.
Back to the question. I think, like, I personally, what my family usually does is we do, like, Magic Kingdom first and last. Or we'll do it, like, first and then, like, towards the end of the trip. Because, like you said, like, you don't want that to be over so quickly. Because that's, like, that to me is, like, the real, like, that's where you get that big feeling of Disney in the parks. So, I mean, that's just,
I agree.
It's tough if you're going on like a couple days, because then it's like you want to go so badly, but then you want to wait because you don't want it to be over.
For that feeling, by the way, quick tip: if you ever go to Disney, I'm a big proponent of the Park Hopper Pass, and for the reason of this is, I think it plays a very clever mental trick on you, which is if you spend half the day in one park and half the day in another park. Even though you're not doubling your time at Disney World, it definitely, the theming in Disney is so fantastic that you could walk around different areas of the parks and feel like you're, in a completely different world. And that really adds to this feeling that time slows down. I always do that half day strategy, and it always feels like my weeks are twice as long as they would be normally when you spend, say, the entire day in one park, and then you say, well, Tuesday was Epcot, but the more you break it up. Hello?
Yeah, no? I think you cut out. Or were you done?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, the more the longer you spend in one park, I feel like it just sucks up that day. So if you break it up, I feel like that sort of makes it feel a little bit longer. But I have another question here from the Twitch chat, and it is from Villager Tim, who asks, what was your first Disney experience with Disney?
You want to take that first?
Sure. That one's tough because, like, I was raised as, like, part of a Disney family. So, I mean, I know for a fact that I was, watching Disney movies and even going to the parks before I was old enough to start remembering it. So I have a hard time, like, thinking of, my first conscious memories of Disney. But I would have to say I remember going for New Year's in 1996. And we got to stay at the Contemporary. And one, going for New Year's was really cool, and two, staying at the Contemporary like really left an impression for me, because I think Disney alone has done more to make me a fan of science fiction and science in general than anything else. But I have this distinct memory of being there in the late 90s, and I should probably remember more earlier than that, but I guess when it came to vacations, I didn't remember too much.
Yeah. And I'm gonna add on to that question in a minute. I think for me, I mean, I've been raised in a very, Disney home. My family loves Disney. They've been going since I was born. I think the first time I was there was I think I was 18 months old or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So I'd have to say the first Disney memory that I remember, was my first cruise when I was about 6, I believe. It was, I don't know why, because I'm a huge Disney cruise fanatic. Like, my family goes on them a lot. We're actually gold members, the Disney Cruise Line.
Nice.
And so I remember my first cruise, because I can still remember the staff to this day. And like there's staff from like my past 3 cruises that I can't even remember, but I can still remember my staff from my first cruise just because of how magical they made it. But probably that, and then like an actual Disney moment, my first one was when I went to Chef Mickey's when I was probably 7 or 8. I think it was the first time I remember going to Chef Mickey's, and it was just a cool experience for a younger kid.
Oh yeah.
Who's loves the characters, still like in the autograph phase. Wanting autographs every time you go, like to Chef Mickey's. Like, I mean, I probably have like 10,000 autographs stashed away in my house somewhere of Disney characters.
Chef Mickey's has some great memories for me. I'm going to tell a story now, and my sister doesn't play video games or know or like follow the channel much, so she doesn't realize I'm about to embarrass her. Maybe I'm not going to embarrass her, but my favorite memory of Disney, or at least especially with her, is I think she had to be like 5 years old. She was super young, so this amount of humor just killed me. But it was at Chef Mickey's, and we were there for breakfast, and I believe Piglet was one of the characters that was doing the rounds, and she just decides, and nobody prompted her to do this, to pick up her bacon and look at Piglet from across a couple of tables, deadpan, and just point at Piglet and then point at the bacon and then eat it. And it was one of those moments. I was only at the time, if she was 5, I was only like 9 or 10, but I was dying. And it's one of those memories that have never left me. And it's probably one of the reasons why I love Chef Mickey's. But it was like with comedic timing that like a professional would execute. It was amazing.
That is great.
But yeah, let's see. We've got so many questions are coming in. We started with not enough, but now we've got so many.
I like this. How do you feel about the Avatar Land?
Oh, that's a common one.
Animal Kingdom.
That's a tough one, right?
It's funny because I am a huge believer in expanding the Disney parks.
Right.
100%. Like, no matter what it is, I would love to see the expansion. A part of me loves what they're doing with it, but a part of me doesn't, because Animal Kingdom is that park where, you know, it's fully not even fully realistic, but it's just, you know, you can go there and you can learn a lot from it. And I feel like when Animal Kingdom originally opened, they didn't include, I don't know if everybody's heard of it, there was a land called Beastly Kingdom that they were going to have.
That's right.
But they didn't include it because they wanted to stick to the real feeling of the animals being realistic. So on that note, I don't know how I feel about them now adding Avatar Land, because I personally would have loved to see Beastly Kingdom. But I'm glad they didn't put it in, because I like the whole realistic environmental feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me wants to see, you know, it expand, because it looks really cool. The nature in the movies, in the movie for Avatar, and I believe there's even storyboards for possibly more to come for Avatar. It's just very cool to see what they did. I just don't know if it's the right fit for Animal Kingdom based off of the realistic factor.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that back and forth between, you know, the idea that it originally was supposed to be including unrealistic or, you know, fictional nature, but, you know, it sort of launched without it, so does that mean it's not supposed to have it? I think the really interesting question is from a sort of Disney as a business perspective, is that they own so many amazing IPs right now. They've bought, you know, Star Wars, they own Indiana Jones, they have all of Marvel. So it seems weird that they're like striking a deal to like team up with James Cameron for Avatar. It was one that I think would almost make you ask if Disney has plans down the line to buy that IP, or maybe it's just something they started planning before they got onto this, you know, buying spree, and, you know, maybe they just need to follow through with the deal. It's tough to tell. I'm a big fan of just the wait and see policy. You know, it's been announced. I think a lot of people are thinking about it in terms of Avatar as the one film that it exists as now, but not thinking about the fact that I think James Cameron's working on 3 more concurrently at the same time. So, like, odds are once these parks are opening, there are going to be more Avatar films. We don't know if Avatar is going to become a craze again or if it'll sizzle out, and I don't think Bob Iger knows, and I'm sure he's losing some sleep wondering, because who knows, they're going to open up a part of the park and then, you know, have a based on a movie series that just isn't super popular. But I think even if that is the case, because of the way that Pandora is designed, it wouldn't be tough for them to sort of drop all of the Avatar branding and sort of make it its own unique part of the parks and make it sort of its own spin-off of Beastly Kingdom, or, you know, that part that was supposed to exist but never did. Let me see here.
Personally, there's something I always think about, and I want your opinion on this. I wonder if Avatar Land, not really a smoke screen, but I wonder if it's kind of just something to put on the spot, so we are distracted from what's to come with such movies as Star Wars and all of the Marvel pictures and comic books. And is it just something that they kind of decided to do so that way they can plan more for what's to come with these bigger productions?
That's definitely an interesting perspective to take, right? You can't. It's one of those things I would love to just be a fly on the wall in some of the meetings at Disney and see how they plan these out, because they do have to keep that in mind. Like, the new Fantasyland, I think, is the new big thing right now, and they're sort of sitting on that, and then they're going to need something else to try and draw in new people. And I guess, yeah, as we see officially, Pandora is like the next big thing. I know there's talk of Star Wars expansions in Hollywood studios, and I believe they've confirmed that they're going to be doing stuff, but I don't know if they have any hard dates for new attractions or parts of the park yet, so I don't know how much they can count on it. Although, with a company this large, it could just be like one of those three front sort of like takes on it, where you do all three at the same time, and it just becomes the must go to place. I'm going to take this. Oh, you go for it.
Yeah, the thing that I keep thinking about is, number one, there was no D23 convention this year. So when you think about that, that means that there was nothing really to announce that was big.
Right.
But does that mean that they're saving it for next year? Because the thing I keep thinking about is Magic Kingdom's 50th anniversary. That is a huge milestone for Walt Disney World, and you have to wonder, is something gonna be thrown out there? Like, are there plans to?
Oh, they must. As long as they don't make the castle a pink birthday cake, then I'm down for any plans they have.
I mean, are there plans for them to announce all of what's coming, like, say, whatever Star Wars they have planned, or whatever, if they have stuff planned for Frozen, which I'm sure they do.
Wait, is it 50 or 40? I hope it's 40. It must be. It must be, right? I think 40.
Well, it was 1970, 74? 70, no.
My dates are escaping me. All I know is because I remember the Pepto-Bismol cake was for the 25th anniversary, and I was there, so I would not like to think that it's been another. No, it couldn't have been, because I'm not that old yet. But while you look that up, I'm going to tackle a couple of quick questions. I'm going to do like a mini lightning round, because I think there's some questions here that we can answer really quickly. So we are asked by Mango Infinity 1, what are all of the ranks? What do they do? And how do you get them? That's a great question that I'm not going to answer here, but I am going to mention that I actually have just today started to upload a mini series called MC Magic for Beginners, and it is sort of like a little tutorial series for people who might not be familiar with video games or Minecraft in general, to help them just get onto the server and get around and enjoy the parks. And part of that is answering questions as to what the ranks are and what they do. So if you keep an eye out, that answer will be somewhere in one of those. We have a question from Zach209 who asks, what differences would you say are major between Disneyland and Disney World, even if you've haven't been there before? I haven't been to Disneyland. Major difference is, of course, size. The Magic Kingdom, or I should say Disneyland, in California can actually fit inside of the main parking lot at the Ticket and Transportation Center here in Disney World. So as you can see, there's a huge size difference there. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not as good of a park, but it is a different type of experience. If you want your sort of one-day theme park experience like a Six Flags, that would be, Disneyland would excel at that. But if you want like a longer stretched out vacation, Disney World is more of an ideal place because there's just an endless amount of stuff to do.
The difference I found, because I was in Disneyland in 2011, I think. The difference I found between the two is Disneyland. Not that it seems like an ordinary theme park, but it doesn't have that feeling that you're in Walt Disney World, because you're driving around Anaheim in California, and the next thing you know, oh look, there's a sign that says Disneyland. Like
Right.
there's not as big of a separation from the world that Walt Disney World has, because I mean, when you're in Walt Disney World, you're in Walt Disney World. Like, there's nothing else around you. You have that whole, however many square miles it is, I can't even think of the number right now.
Which is totally what Walt wanted. I mean, that was...
Oh, yeah, because he didn't want hotels showing up right next to Magic Kingdom so that people can make money off of what's the tourists coming in.
Right.
And that's what happened with Disneyland in California, because all of the hotels are right next to it. So it doesn't have that same feel. And to clarify the question before, Rob, unfortunately, you're going to seem a little bit older now.
It is the 50th?
It is the 50th anniversary. The 40th was in 2001.
Wait a
The
minute.
Open was 1971. Because 71 to 2001 is 40.
Then maybe I'm wrong on my dates for when I was there. When was the pink cake then? Couldn't have been 25. No, that had to be...
Wasn't that 35?
Okay. Whew. All right.
I think the pink cake was 35.
Okay, that makes things way, way better. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that. I was worried that 25 years had passed, and I was like, no, there's no way I have memories from 25 years ago. Okay, that solves a lot.
Yeah. All right, I got a question.
Okay.
When will the Animal Kingdom server be open? I personally don't know the answer. I know that it is... the cast members and admins are working very hard to try to get it up and running. So hopefully, I'm just going to throw a date out there, because for some reason I have an actual fact, cough, cough, hint, hint, in my head that says that it's going to hopefully be tomorrow.
Oh.
If you didn't get the pun, that was because actual facts just told me.
Yep.
Yeah, but they're trying for tomorrow. But they're going to try to get up as soon as possible.
I have a question here that I think would be a good transition if we were to do the revisiting segment, by just sort of speculating. And this question comes from Alejandro237. There's a three-parter. I'm going to pick the middle part here. When Walt Disney made his plans for Epcot back when it was a city, it called for a massive skyscraper in the center. Do you think if they had gone along with Walt's plans, they would have included it? This is an interesting... I love questions about, like, Epcot, the city that was in the works. And that's because I don't think a lot of people realize that Walt Disney had plans to build an entire, functional city of the future that was meant to be a model. That's what Epcot was supposed to be. And like he mentioned, there would be a skyscraper in the center, and unfortunately he passed away before they could even break ground on the Florida project. So it's tough to really answer that question as to what would have happened. We can't even know if Epcot would have even been built if Walt was if he had lived, because there were a lot of hurdles. He was very, very early in the planning stages of Epcot when it came to buy land and make moves on that. If it was to function the way he wanted it to, I think it would have been sort of necessary for there to be that skyscraper. But at the same time, Florida is not very known for its skyline because of things like inclement weather. So that's a tough one. Not really sure.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I think about with what was supposed to happen with Epcot was it gonna kind of not show up like Anaheim, but was it gonna kind of have that same feeling that you have when you're in Disneyland? Because having a city right by the parks in my opinion, it takes away from the park itself. I mean, I know that they weren't gonna make it that big. It was gonna be a decent size. It wasn't gonna be like the size of Orlando.
No.
It was gonna be decent.
Yeah.
But I think it would have. I honestly think it would have taken away from what was supposed to happen with the parks itself.
Possible, and I think Walt was very big on. He didn't really for him. The parks, I think, were a means of getting the money he needed to do the next big thing, which for him was the city. Before we move on to a next question, here's what I'm going to suggest. So if you've never seen any of my revisiting Disney videos, what they are is we pick an attraction and I play Imagineer for a day, imagine an unlimited budget and complete free reign, and talk about how we would update it and make it better and sort of what we would envision in our mind. And I think you and I are going to do one of those tonight. So here's what I'm going to say. While we go on to the next question, people start throwing out ideas for an attraction you want to see us revisit. And we'll pick one, and then we'll each take a shot at it. And I don't know if you have a question lined up. If not, I can grab one.
I actually do have a question lined up, but it's not a question you're thinking of.
Oh, go.
Who's ready for some trivia?
Ooh.
All right, so we're gonna do, just to keep you guys, into it a little bit. We're gonna do two trivia questions. We're gonna do one on the server, and then we're also gonna do one on Twitch. So the first one's going to be for the server, and I'm just going to choose a person at random that I see in the crowd, just because, I can. Let's see. Let's look for a cool skin. Oh, wait. No.
I see, let's see. I see a mag...
Stitch. I see a Stitch. I like a Stitch. I like my Stitches. I see... What did you see?
Is that the Boogeyman? I see the Boogeyman from Nightmare Before Christmas. He's back there somewhere.
He's back there? Where's the Boogeyman? Is he moving around?
I think I saw him.
Oh, I see a Baka. I like my Bakas. Ooh, somebody just gave me a BLT. That's delicious.
Let's see.
I think I'm gonna go.
I see a Han Solo.
Han Solo. I'm gonna go with. Ooh, you know what? I like this. All right, who is that? Is that Anthony Cena back there? Who's got the bear? Is that Anthony Cena? Anthony Cena, can you jump up and down for me, please?
There's gonna be a little bit of a lag there.
He's paying attention. Oh, because is he in the stream?
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Well, he just said something to me. If Anthony Cena could jump up and down for me. Oh wait, is that an Aladdin screen or an Aladdin?
Yep, I see Aladdin.
Skin? All right, so if Anthony Cena does not jump in the next 5 seconds, I'm gonna have Aladdin jump for me and see if he can hear me. But Anthony Cena, you got 5 seconds to jump, or else I'm gonna have to go on to somebody else, unfortunately.
I think it's somebody else. Oh,
Anthony,
did he move?
Wait, Anthony Cena, can you jump for me one more time, please? If you can hear me, can you jump for me one more time, please? He's jumping. Okay, Anthony Cena. All right, you can hear me. All right, Anthony Cena, can you just type in chat yes if you can hear me?
This is the triple tier. This is the triple tier approval method.
Oh, he hasn't said yes yet. I don't know if he's just jumping because he's jumping. Anthony Cena, please type yes in the chat if you can hear me. All right, we got our first trivia question.
All right.
All right. Okay. Ooh, let's think of a good one. All right. Do you want to take this one, or do you want to take the which one?
Oh boy, I'm tough. I'm tough with these. Ooh, hold on, I just went to my statistics here. I'm tough when it comes to trivia because I will pick very, very difficult questions. So I don't know about let's see. Okay. All right. Let's see. Do you? I can't. Oh, man, on the spot for this one. I don't know. I don't think I have it. I don't think I have anything. All right. What does Epcot stand for?
Ooh, that's a good question. All right, Anthony Cena, if you can hear us, what does Epcot stand for?
I feel like that answer is gonna show up like 100-fold in the chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask that people please do not give him the answer because I want to see if he can get it. Ooh. I don't think is he paying attention? Oh, it's delayed. That's right.
Yeah,
okay.
there's the stream delay.
What does Epcot stand for, Anthony? No idea. All right, we're gonna move on to somebody else then. Aladdin. I keep seeing you jump. I love you, Aladdin. Aladdin is one of my favorite Disney characters. All right, Aladdin, if you can hear me, stop jumping.
We're getting some good suggestions here for the revisiting segment.
Stop? All right, Aladdin, stop jumping. All right, Aladdin. So I know your username. Can you please just type your username in chat for me? I can't. You're jumping too much. Unknown. What is it? Unknown Jacob. The Unknown Jacob. All right, the Unknown Jacob. That's your username, right? Okay. All right. The Unknown Jacob. If you can hear me, can you please type Carousel of Progress in chat.
Ooh, we've got some really good suggestions
He
here.
definitely just looked that up online.
But yeah, just to expand on that trivia,
Okay, there he goes. He heard me.
He got it.
All right. Yeah, he said I stopped, so he referred to it. Okay. The Unknown Jacob. All right, we got a good question for you. Okay, so there were some rides in Walt Disney World that were, what am I trying to say? That were actually not started in Walt Disney World, and were started at the World's Fair. Now, can you give me 2 rides that are in Walt Disney World that were actually started in the World's Fair? Please, nobody else answer this question. I want to see if you can get it.
Now we need to decide while he's answering. I've been suggested Journey into Imagination. It's a Small World, Star Tours, for all parks that we can revisit and redesign on the spot.
I think I like Star Tours. I actually
Star Tours.
I have an idea for us actually after that, but it's gonna be more in depth.
Okay.
I'll get to that in a minute. All right. Do you know it? If you can't get this one, we're gonna have to go to the Twitch chat.
Let's see. Is Twitch chat throwing any answers out there? That one is a little harder, Meg. And it's interesting that I guess I'm going to talk while we wait for an answer. I could briefly explain why they originated outside of the parks, and that was Walt saw that as a great opportunity because these companies were coming to him for the World's Fair, asking for them to design something, and Roy was not down with that. He was like, we got our hands tied with Disneyland. We've got this Florida project. The last thing we need to do is take on all these independent contract jobs. But the way Walt saw it is it was free research and development because these companies were paying for these attractions, and he wrote into all these deals a specific part of the contract that said that when the World's Fair ended, he got to take the ride and bring it back with him to Disneyland or wherever. And so the way he saw it, he got paid to essentially research, develop, create an attraction, and then he got to keep it for free afterwards. So it was a perfect deal, and that's why he did more than a few, and they were all among the most popular at the World's Fair. Now, do we have an answer? Did somebody figure it out?
All right. So unfortunately, the Unknown Jacob, it's been too long. I can't repeat the question because you might just look it up now. Like, you might know it. I'm not saying like you will, but I'm just in case. But somebody did message me the answer right after I asked the question, so I know that they actually knew it. So somebody is getting 25 diamonds right now, and that somebody is going to be Broadway actor. Right after I asked the question, he literally messaged me and right away and told me the answer. So congrats to Broadway actor. I'll give you 25 diamonds right now.
Perfect. That's a lot of diamonds. Do you realize that buys you a whole burger in the real Walt Disney World? So hold on to that. And the answer, did he say what was the answer that he gave you? I don't know if we lost him. Did we lose him?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I mean, I could list off the ones that there were. So the Carousel of Progress was one of them that was designed. There was the It's a Small World.
Yep, those are the 2 that he actually messaged me.
Perfect. He also worked on a pavilion with, was it General Motors? I want to say it was General Motors. Yeah. And he also worked on the Illinois Pavilion for Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, which would then later, I mean, that existed in Disneyland, and then that would eventually become the Hall of Presidents over in Disney World.
Yep.
And what was
Don't they have Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln in Disney World?
Currently?
I
don't think so currently.
I thought so. I mean,
They have a little attraction. If you're talking about like the American Pavilion at Epcot, they have a little.
No, there was I definitely saw. Wait, no, was that in? Disney. Am I blanking right now?
Disneyland's great moments. They still do that. Disney World is Hall of Presidents. Welcome to the Hall of Presidents.
I think I'm blanking.
But yeah, he did all these for these different pavilions.
I'm blanking.
You're blanking.
Great moments with Mr. Lincoln was in Disneyland because I haven't seen it in ages, and I thought that I saw it when I was younger. But Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln is in Disneyland, and that's where I saw it, not in Disney World. Yep. I'm sorry about that. All right, and time for the Twitch question. You got one or?
Twitch question. All right, there's one that kept coming up. Let me. Okay,
for
this
Twitch,
one.
We're just gonna do the first person to answer.
Okay, we're gonna do a trivia question. Okay, trivia question for Twitch.
Hopefully they are on MC Magic. We're only gonna have one question. And
Okay.
If they're not on MC Magic, then unfortunately.
I am going to ask that. Oh my gosh, I should have these questions like queued up. Here's me not being prepared on a Saturday night. Okay. What do we want to throw him an easy one or a hard? I could throw a real difficult one out there.
Make it really challenging.
A really challenging one. Even now, I'm like totally blanking.
Oh, really challenging. Okay.
I came unprepared. I feel like I'm in school again and I didn't do my homework, and now I'm just like really stressing out over the fact that I didn't do my homework.
This isn't really challenging.
Okay, here's a mid one. How many bricks did it take to build Cinderella's castle? Bricks of stone.
Huh. Oh, this is a tough one.
Oh wow, Vance got it almost immediately. None.
Oh wow.
Perfect. They all got it. That was too easy. I made too easy of one.
Vance, are you on MC Magic?
What? Here, I'm gonna throw a difficult one.
Okay,
Maybe
yes,
a more
yes.
difficult one.
Oh,
What?
wait, you got...
While you do that, where can you find Walt Disney's name in the Magic Kingdom?
I think this is a trick question.
Where's his credit?
I feel like it's a trick question.
Nope.
Like a very-
Nope. His name's somewhere in the Magic Kingdom. I mean, okay, his name's obviously going to be in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Let me specify.
Yeah, that's why I was
Okay, so on Main Street, they have a habit of putting the names of very influential people involved in the creation of Disney World and Disneyland in the windows, sort of as a way of crediting them. And this includes people like Roy, Walt, his father Elias even has a credit up there. Where can you find Walt's credit?
I think Lionel got it, right?
Yeah, Lionel got it. So
Nice, Lionel.
it is the window above the ice cream shop on Main Street. And the reason it is there is because it's actually not along Main Street, along the long street, but it's on the side outward. And it was put there purposefully so that Walt's name was always facing Cinderella's castle. But yeah, that was a poorly worded one. Walt's name is everywhere in the parks.
So, all right, I got one more question, and this is gonna be for Maine.
Okay.
So you have to type the answer on Maine, and the first person I see gets it. Okay, how should I word this? All right, before Soarin', there were 2 attractions that were in its place, but there might not have been in separate locations. What were those 2 attractions?
Is it Vance's? Yeah.
Oh wow, that was quick.
He's got his Disney. He's ready. He ate his Wheaties this morning. I did not, because it is Saturday and I woke up at noon.
Wow, we got a really good Disney fanatic here. Good answer, Vance. It was Kitchen Cabaret and Food Rocks.
If you ever want, go back and look up Food Rocks on YouTube and listen to. It is such an easily dated show, though. It's funny how I think Disney in the 90s was meant to be like the decade of Disney, and Eisner was really pushing the expansion, and he did. But some of those attractions, they did not really think very far ahead, and they designed them to specifically live and exist in the 90s. There's also things like Cranium Command that featured all comedians that you just don't see today. They're out of the spotlight, and it just would have been totally irrelevant to keep going today. It felt like they did not think of a long shelf life.
That was in Wonders of Life.
Yes, it was. And it was when you were in the teenage boy's brain, and it featured like pretty much all of the major SNL comedians of the late 80s, early 90s, who are now just like out of the spotlight.
I actually had, for those who couldn't see, Vance just typed into chat on Mumble one of the songs from Food Rocks.
Oh yeah, veggie, fruit.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess it got a little outdated for Disney. Maybe the show got moldy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh boy. Okay. So you wanted to revisit Star Tours, right?
Yeah.
So
I
let me.
revisit Star Tours.
I'm gonna shamelessly plug this. Revisiting Disney, like I mentioned earlier, is a segment in where you take an attraction from Disney, any one. There is no attraction that is too sacred to revisit, and you get to be Imagineer for a day, and you get to describe how you would change it, whether it's minor changes or just tear it down and put something new. And this is a series I do on my channel fairly regularly because it's a lot of fun. And it's a fun what if. It doesn't necessarily mean that the ride that you're revisiting is bad or you hate it. It's just a fun creative exercise. So, UglyPuckling, what would you do to Star Tours?
All right. Well, to start, I'm actually going to suggest that we take a 3-minute break.
Okay.
Just for anybody who wants to grab a drink or something, take a little.
Do you want to grab a 3-minute? I could go on for days on Star Tours. So if you want to grab a drink, I will totally go to town. Okay.
All right, so you want to just take a break and we'll be right back?
Is that what you want? Here, you want to if you want to take a break, I could keep going. I could fill in the break.
You want to fill the break?
Huh? Yeah, I'll fill the break.
I'm just gonna go run and get a drink.
You go grab a drink. Okay, so Star Tours. This is a tough one, right? Because Star Tours is actually a pretty small attraction. It is a simulator ride, so it's not as big. You think of the MC Magic Star Tours, and it takes up a lot of space, but that's because of the way it's designed. In real life, it's actually pretty small. So the question is, how do you do a Star Tours revisit without changing it significantly? I think the easy answer is that you could put in some more sophisticated simulator technology. Why not go super sophisticated and have a simulator that can go upside down? Make it a real thrill ride and sort of do a Mission Space style orange team, green team, where you have one version that maybe doesn't go upside down. Perfect. And maybe, the new Star Tours sort of adds this element of customizability in that every time you ride it, it picks a different path. But what if you don't let chance pick the different path, but you get to pick the different path? Similar to like Horizons, where you got to vote on the ending that you would get to see. What if you did something like that, where you get to vote on the path that you get to take in Star Wars, and you do some really crazy stuff with it, or maybe even go for it.
I think I caught the tail end of you saying about going upside down. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Upside down. That's the next step in technology there. If you want to really get blasphemous, I could say take it out. Don't make it a Star Wars ride at all. Just wipe Star Wars off. Let's look at it this way. The likelihood of Hollywood Studios getting its own dedicated Star Wars land now that Disney owns Star Wars is extremely high. So do we really need Star Tours to continue to exist? Why don't we just get rid of Star Tours, make it completely different and movie related, and use that same sort of simulator technology so that you could take that experience and bring it onto something else that's, everybody talks about a Frozen ride in Norway, but maybe we don't do it in Norway. Maybe you do it in Hollywood Studios, and maybe you do something cool where they're, going down the mountain. I'm not even sure how you would tie Frozen into it. That's a hard one to do, but I think the big thing is maybe take Star Wars out of that equation. Maybe make it an Indiana Jones, now that we've got the Stunt Spectacular closing, take Indiana Jones, put that in Star Tours so it's an Indiana Jones ride, and you make that like an exciting adventure where you're in a Jeep or you're on the tank or something like that. Sort of its own sort of extreme Soarin' Indiana Jones Star Tours mashup.
I think I have two different directions with this. If I was going to keep it Star Tours, and this is going along with the advancement of technology for Disney, it would be unbelievable if they were able to do this. I think Disney should try to make Star Tours start as a simulator, but then become a roller coaster.
What?
I think if you start on the simulator, and you know how and you know they have the advancements to do it, because they did it with Tower of Terror, moving the simulator from being a simulator to putting it on the track, because with Tower of Terror they had to move the elevator that you actually sit in, like they had to move it onto a separate track onto the shaft. If Disney was able to do that and make it like a 3D roller coaster where it looks like you're flying, it looks like, you know, ships are shooting bullets at you, and it looks like, it looks like you're actually there.
So you mean like actually, so like you keep that video in front of your screen and then put that on a roller coaster so you're feeling the same like sensations you'd feel. Is that what you're saying?
I mean like take it, like start with the screen,
right? But
then maybe is like the last scenario, which like every ride ends the same. You just you go onto a track, the screen like lowers, and you see out the front, and there's like life-size.
Oh, and then you're there.
Ships, and you're there, and like they have special effects going off with like explosions, and like you feel like at one point you feel like you get hit, so like the coaster rocks a little bit.
That's interesting.
That would be an interesting and huge advancement, and very difficult, but something
super difficult
Disney could pull off.
But yeah, and in the world of Imagineering, in revisiting Disney, there is an infinite budget, so you don't have to worry about, you know, how much it costs or what it could do. I think that is interesting, especially because Star Tours is sort of poised on the edge of the parks. So I guess if you did want to expand that infrastructure to support like a bigger ride, you could do that. It would probably cost them a lot of money, but you know, there's nothing that is in its way. At least I don't think there is, like behind it.
I don't know why. No, there actually isn't. It's all open land. I don't know why, but to me, I feel like Disney is just like unlimited money.
You know, it's sometimes it feels like that.
It's not, but it feels like that. Sometimes it's not though.
Yeah.
Because like when times like right now, when there's not a lot going on, you know that there's probably money issues.
Oh, not even. I mean, you have to remember, Frozen was such a massive success. They were not intending it to be that success, you know. And I think, what was it? It made up almost a quarter of their film income that year. Just that one movie, which is in the film world, that's unheard of. That's not how it works. And Frozen was something they just were not expecting. And I think that's why you don't see a whole lot going on. You see those like meet and greets in the parks. I think they're sort of shell shocked at just sort of that success, and they don't know how to deal with it yet. And I'm sure there are plenty of frenzied meetings going on right now on how to keep doing more rides, more movies, more everything. And they've got probably an unlimited budget, mostly. I think money is not the limiting factor. I think, though, what's smart and the reason they got to this point is because they don't act like that. You know, the big thing that Michael Eisner was a fan of when he started at Disney was being extremely cheap about what he was doing. And that meant, you know, he wasn't hiring big movie stars to do voices and be in movies. And, you know, his thought was that if you got talented people and had them on the inside, you could do great things very cheaply. And I think Bob Iger sort of carried that over a little bit. I mean, not so much now that he's like buying Star Wars and buying Indiana Jones and all this stuff, but I think that's what made the Avatar thing sort of stick out as odd, because, you know, that's not like what they've been doing.
So back to the revisiting.
Yeah.
If I guess Three Dwarfs, or 3D Dwarfs, however you say that. This is a Phantom of the Opera skin. Anyway, so personally, if I didn't keep it Star Tours related, I have two things that would be totally different. The first thing that I would do is take Lights Motors Action, but put you in the vehicle, so you feel what's going, and you can like live what they live while they're in the cars, and it wouldn't be as
Oh, so you mean a simulator where you're in a stunt car?
Yeah, a simulator
Wow.
in a stunt car. That's what I would go.
That would be
that's
sweet.
where I would go with it. The other direction is kind of like where you're at. Is I would do. I would definitely do a like a going through the movie simulator.
Oh, that would be fun.
I think that
That's
would
a
be
great
cool.
idea. Like multiple movies. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Oh man, this is a great idea. You just fell on a great idea there. What if you took out the Great Movie Ride and put the Great Movie Ride 2.0 into the Star Tours' infrastructure? So rather than just riding slowly past all these scenes, you're just flying through all of these memorable movie scenes. That's amazing.
I think that, and I mean, I've been trying to think of. It's funny because I've been trying to think of. Because I'm going to tell you guys honestly, like in my spare time, all I do is I just come up with different ideas for Disney that will not like I will never, well, not never, like hopefully, eventually, sometime, possibly, hopefully, that I'll get to like talk about them to Imagineers if I get to work for Disney.
Oh,
but
it can
like,
happen.
I come up with all these ideas that like, I would love to see happen, and it's just what I do in my spare time. And I've been trying to think of something to do with that, and that's actually a good idea with taking out the Great Movie Ride and putting the rides into a simulator like that.
Oh, that is so great.
Kind of like, honestly, not really, but kind of like soaring through the movies.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's such a good idea. Oh my gosh. And there are so many movies where you go, wow, wouldn't that be great to be in that perspective? And you see it with Star Tours, with the Death Star, the trench run. That would be great to be in the middle of. Or, if you're not limiting yourself, or just to like be in Indiana Jones and being chased by the giant boulder, like that sort of stuff where once you get put in that first person perspective would be so amazing. That's so great.
So, on this, because this is a good transition for what I had for my idea before. What I want to do is I want to come up with me and you, and the help of some of our friends and possibly some special guests, possibly. I want to come up with a new Disney park.
Ooh.
If Disney was to create a fifth gate, I would love to see what we would love to see in that park. And I'm going to start off with saying if there was a fifth park, we're going to start with not Hollywood Studios. We're going to start with Star Wars Land in that fifth park. That's going in that fifth park.
Okay.
What do you want to see in Star Wars Land?
What do I want to see in Star Wars Land? Ooh. I would love to see a Battle of Endor roller coaster. A dark coaster indoors. You're in an A-wing or an X-wing, and similar to the way that Rock and Roller Coaster throws all these neon signs and stuff around to make it feel like you're flying through LA. You're flying through this epic battle with this massive Death Star in the middle that you're sort of going around and through and in. That's the first ride.
I agree.
Bouncing it to you. What else?
All right, I agree with that for the first ride. For one of my, not rides, but experiences, I think they should take Jedi training and make it bigger. And what I mean by that is somehow incorporate all of the Sith into one Jedi training, where you have say you could do it anywhere. You could do it in the Death Star, or you could do it in Hoth, any location they could come up with. I don't even care what the location is, but what I would love them to do is I would love them to create this experience where it is the Jedis or the guests against the Sith that are the actual characters, and they go out into that area and they actually they practically like, I guess you could say like they LARP with them, like live
That'd be a
action
lot of fun, yeah.
And I think it would be cool. And I think it would not, but not for like younger kids though. I think for more of like teenagers to adults to kind of incorporate that to them.
Would you expand the experience so that like you're building a lightsaber first?
Yeah, and I think you would have like your own lightsaber. I think you'd have like, you get like a cape, and you'd get like a costume, and then depending on like, if you decide I want to join the Sith, you could dress up as a stormtrooper and fight as a stormtrooper.
Oh.
The other thing off of that I had thought about is what if they did Star Wars laser tag?
Oh, wow.
Where
Nobody would
like
hit anybody because stormtroopers can't aim.
But it's like stormtroopers versus Jedis, and the Jedis, like I think that would be pretty cool.
That would be a lot of fun. I would like to see something like that. You know, Disney's big on what turns out the most people per hour, but I think things like that are also important to the experience. I would love to see a restaurant that is indoors that rotates similar to the Garden Grill, but rather than having a diorama sort of around the edge, you have these super high definition screens that are making it look like you're on top of one of the super skyscrapers in Coruscant. And you're just rotating around, looking down at the city, and speeders are flying by, and maybe an X-Wing and a TIE fighter, even though that's not very, in line with the canon. They'll swoop by, and they're in the middle of a dogfight. Just fun stuff like that while you sit down and eat.
And then I'm gonna say limit of 4 rides here for Star Wars Land.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say that the 4th ride I think should be, which I'm sure, I honestly think that Disney has this in the works already. The speeder chase through.
Like as a roller coaster or something?
Or not Endor, Naboo.
The speeder chase?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Endor. Yep,
Endor.
the forest moon of Endor.
Yes. I think if they did like a speeder chase, but kind of like a roller coaster, but like kind of not. I think if you like made it a roller coaster, but then you made it so that it didn't look like one. I think that would be pretty cool. Like you actually look like you're going through the quote-unquote forest of Endor. So that's what I would think for rides for Star Wars. All right. What would you say for one restaurant?
Besides the Coruscant one, I would have to go with just like a restaurant in general.
Yeah, I mean Mos Eisley.
Oh, like a Star Wars restaurant.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Mos Eisley Canteen that's a no-brainer. That has to happen. Yeah.
All right. Next thing for the park, the icon.
Well, what's the theme of the park is the real question. You've got a Star Wars land, but I think if you look at all of the icons of these Disney parks, they're very in line with what they stand for. So you need to know what that is first. And here's the thing. I love playing these games, but if it ever came to my decision, I would never have a fifth gate just because I can't think of something that wouldn't fit into one of the other parks. So I don't know. That's a tough one.
I personally would I would have to go with Pride Rock.
Okay. So it's like, is this like another movie theater? That's a good icon to have.
I think the more kind of like a movie theme, but not like behind the scenes. More of just like the movies in general.
Right.
More of just kind of like how, I would kind of have like how Magic Kingdom is. It's very widespread. There's, because it goes from Tomorrowland to Frontierland, like something like that. I think that would be pretty cool though. As the icon. Now, one ride that I built on Creative, like old Creative, probably like 4 resets ago. I built it, and I actually drew up some blueprints, and I don't know where they are anymore, unfortunately, so I have to do those again. But I would love to see a ride/restaurant in one.
Ooh, now that's tricky. Eating food and moving
while riding, yeah, that's the only thing. But I would think like not a fast ride though. I think what would be cool is if the restaurant had like 8 different stages where so there's like 8 different rooms, so there's reservations for say like every 15 minutes you can schedule a reservation, and that 15-minute, like, you load into your room per se, and you sit down at your tables. When you sit at your tables, you go to the next room.
Teacups. They're like the teacups, right?
No, well,
you spin them.
Not the teacups. Yeah, yes, you're gonna eat and spin. Okay. I actually had a thought of that once, but then I realized that would not
go well. No.
Yeah. But what would happen is you go into the first room, and it's live characters that, you enter the Lion King, and Simba and Timon and Pumbaa come out and start singing Hakuna Matata while you are in like Shadowland. I think that would be pretty cool. And then like you go to like the next room and you're in Beast's castle, and like they do like Be Our Guest in there and Beauty and the Beast in there and something there that wasn't there before. They do all that. You go to the next room, and it's like you just go through the movies and have actually people acting and performing it for you while you're eating. And then you're like they use special effects to make it so that the room that you're in changes so that you look like you're in that movie.
That's interesting. And it's funny, you say this like it's a super far out idea, but Walt Disney originally intended the tiki room to be a show and a dinner location at the same time. So the idea of like mixing, your dining experience with some entertainment is not like too far fetched. It definitely would take a lot of work to figure out how to make it work right, but it's definitely, one that's been around for a while. I'm noticing, looking at the clock, we only have a couple of minutes left. So I was wondering, do you want to do a lightning round Q&A where we just grab questions and we answer them like super fast style? Because I know a lot of people have been throwing questions our way, and I want to try and get to a whole bunch of them. But this has been like super, super fun so far. We need to do this more often.
Yeah, let's see. There are more questions.
Let's see. Question. I'm going to throw one your way. What MC Magic minigame are you most excited for on the MC Magic Arcade?
Probably Imagination Games.
Imagination Games. How's that work out?
Imagination Games is the Hunger Games, but instead of like the violence of the Hunger Games, you are dreaming and you're trying to wake other people.
Oh, nice. Okay, let's see. Do you have plans to go to Disneyland anytime in the future? And if so, what would you be looking forward to? I actually might be going pretty soon in the future. I'm thinking about taking a trip out to California sometime this fall. And if I do, it would 100% involve heading down to Disneyland. And I would be most looking forward to, that's tough. I mean, Cars Land on a more fun level, but just being where it all started would be what I'm looking forward to the most. Let's see. Do we have any more questions? If you had to fight a villain, which one would you fight and why?
Gantu from Lilo and Stitch.
Okay. Why?
I don't know why. He's a friendly villain.
Okay.
He just seems chill. Seems cool.
Who's your favorite Disney princess / queen? I'm a big fan of. So, like, if you're looking more classical, I think Belle is a great. Does she count as a princess? Is she a princess? She becomes one, right? So she kind of counts. She's very book smart, and that's very important. I think it might sound like the easy answer, but Elsa and Anna are a great dynamic, so I enjoy them. What's your favorite food option that they supply at Disney?
Favorite food option? You go first.
My favorite food option is all of their breakfast foods. Their sausage and the eggs and all of that stuff, just perfect. Perfect.
I have to say Mickey Waffles, probably.
Okay, that's a good one. What's your favorite Magic Kingdom ride?
Well, Carousel of Progress or Space Mountain.
Ooh, good picks. Actually, those are exactly what my picks would be. I guess to throw out different ones, I would say Jungle Cruise or Pirates.
Oh, yeah, I like Jungle Cruise because of the skippers, like the funny.
Yeah, it's a very fun experience. Let's see. Tron Coaster or Horizons revamp?
Ooh.
Tron Coaster.
Uh,
I mean, Horizons revamp?
I want a coaster.
Yeah, I don't want a Horizons revamp. I want something that takes the spirit of Horizons. But
Yeah.
a Tron Coaster, just because I have that so planned out in my head, I would want to see it happen. So
Actually, if I had to go for a coaster, I would go for the Monsters Inc. door scene where you ride on the door.
if you had to become... That's a really great idea, by the way. I've heard that one before, and I really wish it happens, because it's a great one. GamerKid asks, YT asks, if you had to become a hero's enemy, which hero and why? Disney only.
Probably.
I don't want to go against any hero.
Yeah, because you know the villains never win.
Yeah, no, that's
Probably.
tough.
You know what? I got one. A Disney hero. Ooh, no, I don't got one.
Aladdin, because he only had 3 wishes and he used them all up, so it'd be really
yeah.
super easy. He's
Ooh.
just a person now.
Ooh, that's a good one. Actually, he's a prince now.
All right, so he's got the royalty going, but he's still a mere mortal.
You know what? I'm just gonna be the unsmart one here, and I'm gonna say Hercules.
I don't know why that came to mind too.
Because he's the really only hero I can think of
What's your favorite, I guess, Disney related show we'll go with? And I assume you mean like shows at the parks. So what's your favorite show at the parks? Carousel Progress does not count, because it's more like an attraction.
Yeah. For nighttime spectaculars, Phantasmic and Celebrate the Magic, which is the castle projection show. If you guys don't know that.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And for regular shows, I'd have to go with why am I blanking?
Iroh is mine for sure.
Probably either Indiana Jones, Lights, Motors, Action, or oh my gosh.
And you listed off a bunch of good ones.
Finding Nemo the musical, and there was one more I was just thinking of. But I can't think of that.
So all of them. I think you're listing all of them.
Canada. Oh, Canada.
Oh wow, that is an interesting one. I guess if we could go back to old ones,
Yeah.
I think The Timekeeper was one of my favorite shows growing up, just
Yeah.
because I love sci-fi in the future, and I think Robin Williams and Rhea Perlman were a great dynamic, and it just brings back a lot of fun memories.
I used to love Food Rocks.
Oh, that was a good one.
The Tarzan show, and I also loved the what was the Goofy's something. It was in by the golden or the diamond horseshoe or golden horseshoe, something like that.
Oh, see, I don't know. I knew Goofy About Health in but that wasn't a show. That was an exhibit.
Yeah, there was a show in Magic Kingdom at like the diamond horseshoe, whatever that is there, golden horseshoe something, and it was like a hoedown. It was like a western feel, and it was like yeah. And there was also a Toy Story show there that was really good. They would bring Aladdin to Disney World.
So many great questions we got today. But unfortunately, it looks like we're out of time. That doesn't mean you need to go anywhere, because like Puckling mentioned, there is going to be a sort of school party going on the server after this. I want to thank UglyPuckling for putting this together. This was all him. He came to me and asked me about doing something like this, and he, picked out the dates and put together, everything that was going to happen in this room. So I want to thank you for throwing this all together. All I did was throw it on Twitch.
That's not a problem. It was a pleasure getting to work with you with this.
This was a lot of fun. I would love to do more of these in the future.
Yeah,
the Q&A, everything about it was fun.
Maybe if you guys would like, and I'm probably throwing Rob on the spot here because he has no idea that I'm about to say this. Maybe sometime soon, me and Rob can do like a little marathon stream of something.
Marathon! Oh my gosh!
We could do a marathon stream.
We'll have to talk about dates to do that. I'm not opposed to doing something like that, but I am doing a 24-hour live stream marathon in October. So I don't know how many marathons I could do back to back before I just break as a person. But I'm totally down to do that at some point. We just got to figure out the best time to do it.
Yep.
I'm going to take this quick moment to plug my channel because we're on Twitch here. I mean, I assume a lot of you will know about the channel already, but I have a YouTube channel called Rob Plays That Game, and it is exclusively... well, no, that is the exact opposite of the word I should be using. It is about half, 50-50 about MC Magic and Disney World, and I do things like Q&As and revisiting Disney, and I do a top 5, and this video will actually be up on the channel, so stuff like this that I do on the server will show up. So if, you know, you're new and you're just finding this for the first time, there's so much more content out there, and hopefully you all hold on to those great questions, because hopefully we'll get to do this again sometime soon and do so much more Q&A. But thanks again, everybody who came and joined, whether you're in Mumble or on Twitch or on the server itself. Thank you for joining, and I hope you all stick around on mcmagic.us for this back-to-school party. I get to party extra hard because I'm not in school anymore, so I don't have to go back to school. I just have to go back to work, like, every day, all the time.
Yeah, that's worse than school.
So thanks again, everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you again, Rob, for doing this and hosting this on your Twitch.
A pleasure.
So everybody, if you want, go to Warp Indy for the block party for school beginning to start. And again, thank you guys for coming out. It means a lot. Thanks for the support. And have a great night and have an MC Magical time here.
Have a great night. Warp Indy, head over there. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.